When Steve Reed came up with the idea and discussed it with me way back 5 or 6 years ago now, in 2000, oh, it's longer than that, it was 8 years ago, 2012, it really made sense for Stevenage to be part of this. We were the first post-war new town here in Stevenage, and what that meant was that people came here mostly from London, but also from all over, all the corners of the globe, a large Irish population, and they really built our town, both physically built it, but also built the community from the ground upwards, because there was nothing here. There was a very small village type community in Old Stevenage, but apart from that, nothing here. So right from sports clubs, community associations, activities, my mum and dad were part of a drama group, right across the whole board of community, they set it up. So here in Stevenage, that kind of cooperative principle of being part of something, of the community actually leading and driving what's happening in the town, is absolutely in our DNA in Stevenage. And that's why it felt so right to me to be part of this new organisation that was going to drive those cooperative values and principles within local government. I think for our 34 member councils and you know, for all our affiliate members as well and associate members, we what we do is we take those very long-standing 150 years now of cooperative values and principles, and we put them into practice in our own councils, and we help each other. Sharing good practice is absolutely at the heart of what we do. That's why it's called an innovation network. We drive that innovation firmly rooted in the values and principles of the co-op movement, and I think that's what makes us stand out from other good practice sharing bodies, is that we have that set of values and principles. We have a values and principles board which holds us to those, as well as an executive committee that drives the strategic action for the network, and it gives us that real clear sense of values-driven innovation and good practice in local government, and I think that's something, it's quite unique. I've never come across anything else in it in local government, and it helps us to check back against all of the projects we support, and some of them we fund, because we do provide funding for our members to drive their innovation. And it helps us to check back all the time that we're keeping with those very strong values that we all hold. I think what I've spoken about in terms of all of the services that we deliver to the people that we represent being driven from or informed by what they see as key to their day-to-day lives is really vital. And there's a new challenge for us now, and I think this is really important for the network to think about going forward as we go into the recovery and renewal phase after this terrible pandemic we've all suffered from, and we are suffering from. I think we will be looking to new ways of driving the economy forward, new ways of delivering public services, new ways of councils contributing to supporting our communities through the recovery and renewal phase. And I think I'm really, really keen to see how our cooperative values can inform that going forward, with things like, for example, one of our members, Preston, with their fantastic work on community wealth building. I think over the last few weeks, we've all changed our view about what is essential in our lives. Yeah. We've got to tackle climate change, we've got to tackle an economy that delivers social justice for everybody. We've got different views now about who our key workers are, and we've seen very much who the essential people are in our communities. We need to learn from those things and shape our country going forward, and our economy and our communities going forward, informed by what we've learned. And I think we will have missed something if we don't do that. And I see cooperative values as fundamental to informing that. This is what we hear from all of our councils actually is that the policies, the things that drive what those councils are doing very much are driven from the people that we represent upwards, not the other way round. So we don't sit in a town hall thinking, you know, what are we going to do about this issue or that issue. We go out there, talk to the people that are involved in that, whatever that thing might be, and I'll give you a couple of examples from Stevenage in a minute, and they're what drive the activity. So it's right from the very discussions we have in the early days of policy making, the people that are going to have that policy impacting on them will be driving the activity that we're doing. So that's other councils do it, but we have that set of values and principles right at the heart of what we do. So we're constantly checking back on those values. So to give you a couple of examples, in our domestic abuse work here in Stevenage, we have a victims and survivors forum. They've led our work on that. They drive all the innovation we create in domestic abuse work. We've won lots of awards for our domestic abuse work, and I'm sure that's why, because it's all driven by victims and survivors. And a couple of examples of that: one is they wanted us to have safe spaces for people to go when they flee their home. They need somewhere to take a breather, think what their next steps are going to be. So we've created those safe spaces, and their victims and survivors forum where they can talk to other people who are in various stages of going through what they've been through and help each other through the process. So that's on the domestic abuse side. On the business side, we have a business technology centre where we nurture and support new and growing businesses, and they all work together to support each other. And that centre is led by the business community itself, all helping each other, working out what kind of business support is most effective for them. As they progress in their business life, they then support the newer businesses. And that's been really effective. We've got around 300 businesses in that centre, working very actively and supporting each other. And the success rate of those businesses is around about 95%, which is much higher than the average success rate for new business. So it works really, really well. And that innovation, and now the network's looking to how we tackle some of the fundamental challenges, and none could be more important, as we've seen in the last few weeks, than social care at the moment. We've sponsored some work to look at how cooperative values can inform the real challenge of getting a really effective social care system going forward. And we want to make sure that the cooperative values that we hold are informing that work. They do in lots of other parts of the world where social care is driven through cooperatives. And we want to make sure that what we do in our local authorities is informing that new well, it's not a new challenge, it's a challenge that's been around for a while, of how we shape our social care going forward. So there are lots of examples of why that cooperative approach to things is great for any major challenge. And the thing I always say is, I don't think there are any challenges facing local government at the moment for which there's not a cooperative solution. The cooperative values we hold can help us tackle any of those.